everyone, welcome to the Roadshow. With me today I've got Bobby. Bobby came on the Getaway Canning Stock Route with me. The trip last year was fantastic. What a ball we had. So today Bobby's just going to share some of his ideas of what he did to prepare for the trip. Not saying that we're the experts, mate, but you know, just to share what we've learned, and happy to hear from you guys. So let's go. Bob, how would you rate yourself as a driver?
Oh, fairly competent, I think. Probably if I preface this by saying that in my early years, in my 20s, 30s, I was down the North Cliff, down the bush, driving log trucks, bulldozers, had a farm, tractors, utes, everything. I bogged the whole damn lot and had to get them out. It's wet down there. And then in later years started four-wheel driving, and first trip, I've had a lot of trips. I don't know, a dozen, 15, where we've went way out in the desert, out the Great Victoria Desert, through the Great Central Road, Sandy Blight trip, Gun Barrel Highway, Gibb River, Carragini, all sorts. Just about the whole northwest. The only place I haven't been yet is the Rudolph River, and we're going there soon.
There's a lot of work to do on these trips, Bobby, so how do you manage it?
Lesley, my wife, I look after the vehicle. I let her look after the supplies. She does everything up so that she knows what, and that works very, very well. And I don't interfere in that.
What sort of vehicle do you have?
It's a Nissan Pathfinder, a 2012 model.
How do you prep your vehicle, Bobby?
Well, I had the steering knuckles, I had everything checked. It had the suspension lift, but the lift is not the main thing. The main thing is it's got the heavy duty suspension, the heavy shock absorbers, the airbags in the back to carry any extra weight. And had it checked everything, had the solar panel checked that it would work and the whole thing, and had enough fuel that I could go to the max, no trouble for the maximum distance that was without fuel, and a bit more. The longest distance in there is just over 800 k's. My vehicle on the road does X number of k's to the X number of k's to the litre. I just added a third more and a bit extra, maybe more than a third more, so that I always knew I had enough to get to wherever it was.
What essential gear would you recommend to anyone contemplating a remote area off-road trip?
A couple of spare shock absorbers, spare bearing, compressor. I had 2 spare tyres and a spare tube, a comprehensive tyre repair kit, probably some spare oil in case you get a pipe down or something goes wrong and you lose some oil.
Have you noticed any common mistakes that people make?
They try and take far too much. They almost want the kitchen sink. The minimal stuff you can get, the less weight you put in that vehicle, the better.
What about water?
Water, in nearly all the trips, my experience says, you can get water just about anywhere. You don't need to carry a couple of 100 litres or more, which we did in the first trip. I think we went with about 80 litres of water, and that was sufficient, and we never used more than half of it, because you can top up all over the place, and you can, even if the water's not potable, boil it and it is potable. When you go to these things, you get where there is water, and HEMA maps and everything will tell you.
Now, let's not forget a very important item, insurance.
Make sure that you're covered off-road. That means that you're covered out in the desert. There's lots of places, like, say, we've just done the CSR. Now, that's not a gazetted road, so that if you're out there and your insurance says you should be on a road, you're done, you're a gone goose. Even if you go on a detour off the road, once you get off the surveyed road, you could not be covered in some policies.
Why do you like doing these kind of remote area off-road trips in a group or, you know, on a club trip?
Security and safety. And you can share the things. Nobody needs to take everything. This is where you keep your weight down. If there's a group of 10, you don't need 10 shovels.
Now, if there's two things that cause a fight around the campfire, it's tyre pressures and corrugations. All right, Bobby, tyre pressures.
I travelled all the stock route, the whole distance, on 18 in the front and 20 in the back.
And what about corrugations?
There's a great lot of contention in this. When you start getting up speed, you come to the 30 to 40 k's and in that range, and the car starts jittering all over the road. You've got to get over that, and it's the courage and ability. There's a bit of skill involved in getting up over that to get up near the 70 or 80 or better. It depends on how many corners there are, whether there's washouts or what it is, but getting up to that speed, if you don't, you'll shake yourself and your vehicle to bits. And get up to that better speed, although sometimes it seems illogical, it works. The trial run starts when you do your first trip, to get that you're capable of what you are capable of and what your vehicle is. And as you go, you'll find that your vehicle is more and more capable as you get more experience.
Did you do anything special to prepare for powering equipment on the trip?
I had the cigarette power points, and I had extra put in so that, and I even carried an inverter so that if I didn't need to, and that was the angle grinder and a welder's only on where the desolate trips like the Canning Stock Route.
These isolated trips, they're not for everyone, folks. It's not like you can get off or turn around or, you know, I'm doing it on my own. Can be a bit unsafe. So, Bob, you've been on a lot of these trips. What would you say? Who is the kind of person that really needs to think twice about doing these trips?
The person that won't compromise, the person that will say, only take advice from the trip leader, won't take a suggestion from anybody else, and won't, you get a person that's, they've got their own agenda and want their own way all the time. Like me sometimes.
Yes, we all need to carefully consider these trips. They're a big commitment in terms of time and money. Having said that, if you are considering one of these trips, here's Bobby's advice.
Have a go. Have a go. It's far, far better than you can possibly imagine.
Hear, hear, Bobby. I couldn't agree more. Thanks for sharing with us. That's great. Again, if you've got your own ideas or you do it differently and you're happy to share, please put it in the comments below. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. You may want to consider subscribing. Just click the button up here. That's it from the Roadshow. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.